Nope, nope, nope.
No, no, man, no. I'm
Nah,
good.
you know, not me.
I'm a real G, real God lover.
Okay, I need to do a Snap and an Instagram and a social media stuff real quick.
Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and jump on that bandwagon.
Double tap. Well, if you're not watching, we're about to do the podcast thing. Pre-show starting now.
Pre-show.
Alright, so exhausted.
You both, man. It's been a long weekend. I know that for sure.
I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Lisa and I drank with mom and her boyfriend, and we like intentionally got them drunk. It was hysterical.
That's funny.
Solid. Oh god, that's the best Instagram picture for T-Bass.
Which one? Did you
The
put
one
it
I'm
up?
about to post, episode 18, live now. Hashtag T-Bass. Hashtag God. Hashtag isn't it real?
Gosh.
Hashtag atheism. Boom. Alright. Oh, I need to
Go
put
ahead
the
and do mine as
URL
well.
in. tinyurl.com. Tiny URL. Oh no, I need to do the Pastor and Atheist show.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Just sending them through that traffic. Does my picture look like crap? I feel like it looks like crap.
No, it looks alright. I mean,
Okay, okay.
obviously, one day you can get a better webcam, but you have a better mic, and honestly,
Hey.
dude, there's no white noise. Oh, you have no idea, man.
Well then it's like, just every 20 weeks or so I'll take a next step to do having something better.
You have no idea, man. Oh gosh, that was like the worst. Alright, let me get this YouTube link and put it in on the website so it's easy for people. Oh, I didn't do a post this week, man. This have time.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for me, like actually having to do some work at work.
I'm having to do my job.
Stuff's starting to kick off though. I mean, we're starting to hit those times where soldiers are mobbing over, going to their different deployment places, and so it's getting real.
Oh, it's getting real quick.
Oh yeah.
Did you name this episode something? Oh, gender confusion. Okay. Got it.
Play on the whole gender confusion words.
Yeah. Alright, so now I just need that link, and then I gotta wait for like the live stream to like show up. Like I'm streaming, and I've been streaming, and apparently we have viewers, but I can't see because I'm fucking logged in. Oh my gosh.
So it's got you as one of them. Yeah, both of us. So we're the two currently.
/T-Pass. No, I'm not watching.
Oh, someone is.
It's all to me.
Maybe it's my wife. I don't think so.
Yeah, she doesn't love us. Publish. You're about to get an email. Podcast. Oh no. Why you got? You know what? I haven't checked the iTunes portion of our thing in a long time.
To see if new ones.
See if we get reviews. I'm so bad.
I haven't either, but I don't. We probably have not.
Well, we got some more 5-star ratings, but I'm gonna have to go look on the phone to see if we. No, what's that feature image? Do you like my little Snapperino, my little Snapchat Photoshop work?
I didn't see it. Hold on, I haven't seen it yet.
I posted it on my Instagram and my Facebook the other day.
Maybe I did.
Where did the podcast thing go? Podcasts.
DeWayne.
What kind of Pokemon are you? You can do the things.
Did you? I'm guessing you haven't looked at next week's show notes yet, but they should. It will excite you when you do.
Okay, hold on, let me look. Alright, top 6 Pokemon to beat the Elite. and
Gosh, I hate you. That's a good picture.
it was a good one. The first one was like you just look annoyed because like I caught you at a weird face, and then I saw that face, and I was like, oh, that's the one. Is this your?
I'm doing
top
duck face
six?
like unintentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, top six, but it's got to be original 100.
But is this like something that actually happened, or the ones you would pick?
What do you say? Is this what I've actually used?
Yeah.
I think I have used that actually, most of it. And then I was like, well, I didn't actually do the work to get these X Pokemon, so I will say that I want these.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do. I'll do my fantasy draft. Cause
Yeah,
man, it's been so long since I've beaten them.
Well, I haven't. So I never had like friends who like had the cable link, like you remember like the old link you used to have to use the data cable.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like so few and far between for where I lived in the poor area we lived in, and so we never got to get like the third level Pokemon where you had to trade back like Gengar.
Oh, Gengar,
Machamp,
Golem,
and
Machamp,
yeah, Golem,
and Alakazam.
Yep. So I couldn't those four, man.
Look, man. All right, so this
Taking it way back.
This is my you don't have a webcam on, but
I do, so it'll take a few seconds for me to see
but
whatever.
this is my DS, and this is my Pokemon. I'm going to pack it for this week, so I can play. The more I talk about it, the more I want to play. And I don't think let me turn
I
it
see it
on.
now. Yeah. Which one do you have?
Fire Red.
Oh my god.
Omega Ruby. Damn it! I thought I had Fire Red. That sucks.
Well, at some point they're going to release the. I think they've already done it, like all of the originals.
Oh yeah, I think I can buy those. Oh, I've got to do that. I gotta just buy red or blue, of course. Actually,
Yellow, where Pikachu just follows you around.
no way. Fuck Pikachu.
What? Raichu's actually in my lineup, like just to ruin it for next week.
Oh, this is gay. The battery's dead. I'm glad I found out now. So like, when I get to release it tomorrow and go play some Pokemon.
I'm gonna be talking, and then you're not gonna be paying attention at all. Like, hold on, I'm about to catch this Voltorb.
Yeah. I never really used Voltorb. Like, he wasn't my boy.
Yeah, no one did. He's just kind of like cool to look at, I guess.
No, what he is?
He's confused. It's like, is that a Pokeball? And you got to pick him up.
Yeah, is that an item? Yep, exactly.
Shoot.
Dang it. I need to play my DS more, especially since I'm traveling so much.
Where are you going next? Well, you can tell me that in the...
No, I just meant like going to like Lisa's house. Because like
Oh,
I stay
yeah,
with
yeah.
her during the week. And then she comes over on the weekend. So I gotta take her home after this, actually.
Thanks, son. Late nights.
Yeah, well, I mean, she doesn't have a car right now because hers got.
Pastor and Atheist, After Dark.
But I still wanted to see her, right? So I'm happy to take her and pick her
That
up.
makes sense. Is she in the room currently?
No, she's somewhere. She said she was gonna go wander. I don't know. So the audio will get uploaded late tonight when I get back. But it'll get uploaded tonight, that's for sure. I got a system,
Nonetheless.
brother. I've pretty much sped it up. Guess I'll do another snap real quick.
Kudos to you for staying on Snapchat. And
Dude,
getting
I'm
it.
trying, man. Trying. I will eat your happiness. You will starve! I need to tell you that.
That's a good quote. I eat your happiness. You will starve.
I just tagged you. It's a really solid. We're starting in 3 minutes. If you're not at the website, thepassionateatheistshow.com, you're missing out. Boom.
There's only one person. I don't know whoever this is, but I'm going to see if they will talk back to me.
Talk to me!
Hello, other person.
I'm lonely.
Reveal thyself.
What kind of Pokemon are you? You can do the things you do.
Is that going to be our new intro?
Theme song? God, if I could get away with it, I would, man. That's such a like. Are you kidding? That's a solid song. What kind of Pokemon are you? And do the things do. I love like that. That also has the same like Vermilion City and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my way to Viridian City.
So old school.
It's the like that's the best fucking CD, like the Pokemon Masters soundtrack or whatever it is. If you're not into that, like,
are you really a fan?
yeah, let me bring some of that. Pokemon Master soundtrack. To be a master, a Pokemon master.
And the Poke Raps are my favorite.
Nah, dude, it's just because you haven't heard these, man. Alright, hold on. Full soundtrack.
He's like, I'm gonna show you now.
I got to be the one, the only one who can.
Dude, I've heard this.
Be the best. Got to strive, keep up the drive, be a master.
Is that Michael Jackson?
Kind of skill,
No.
Until 150 Pokemon are mine, I must define the art of capture.
It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back. Man, it's so good.
Is that on my music, the Apple Music? So I can download the entire soundtrack and then make Lisa listen to it on the way to her house?
To be a master, literally 2.B.80.
Ooh, it is! Poor Lisa! Yep. Added to my music.
Burris. Hello, Barris. You old sack of trash.
What up? You have arrived! He sent an email this week, right?
He did. That's the whole reason for our next
week. Yeah.
Next week. So thank you, Burris.
Our Pokemon themed week.
Pokemon themed next week. We need to can you make that our intro? I don't know if we'll get in trouble for that. We're not big enough for anybody to notice us yet.
Yeah, I'll do next week. I'll do the Pokemon. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Worst case scenario, like Nintendo, like cease and desist. You get like an email. You shouldn't do that. Okay.
Well, maybe we'll get some like negative, some negative. What am I losing my words?
Like attention.
Attention, yeah, whatever. It's yeah.
But with that, let's go ahead and roll the show.
Jump in, do it, my friend.
We'll start actually on time this time.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I have buttons to press, and I have failed to have the buttons ready.
I'm gonna grab some to drink as soon as you play the song.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm Devan, and I'm the pastor.
Hi, I'm DeWayne, and I'm the atheist. And you're listening to the Pastor and Atheist Show.
Welcome to episode 18 of the Pastor and Atheist Show.
That was perfect timing for me.
That was perfect timing. And the best part is if you're watching the live streaming or if you're watching this on YouTube, I love the fact that like you're in the background like doing stuff. Like I felt like that's perfect music for that. I feel like next time I'm just gonna have like a hammer and some nails and just
slowly
like, oh hey there, like like I didn't see you there.
Fix your tool belt. So let me just cinch this up.
It's kind of like the '90s thing where like they look up at the camera like, oh, I didn't know you were there, like that kind of thing. Like that's the vibe I got from that. It was solid.
Everyone freezes except the guy who's like, oh, I think of Zach Belding. Is that right? Is that from Saved by the Bell? Is that his last name? No, Mr. Belding. Zach. Whatever. How he always freezes and talks to the camera back in the scene.
Yeah, I like that. House of Cards does that too, actually.
Yes, yeah, he does.
Oh, I can't even believe that you watched that show because of how like.
Well, it's been intermittent, so I caught like the first, I think, 3 or 4 episodes, and I was like, okay, I like it, and then it just wasn't super great. I mean, I enjoyed it.
I mean, it's definitely
I still haven't caught up to where it is now.
Well, I'm just surprised because it seems like not your speed. Like it's very grotesque is not the right word I want to use, but
it's got a dark feeling to it for sure.
Yeah, and it's definitely doesn't seem like something you would be into. Right? It pushes some boundaries. It's like Game of Thrones.
See, I guess I don't know. Maybe I haven't gotten too far into it then, because I didn't. It's kind of just kind of
your first season is a little sketchy, man.
That's what it is. Like I've only seen like the first 4 episodes.
Oh, it's a really good show, man. I'm trying to get to the newest season on Netflix, but it takes time, man. It takes time. Go to bed. Go to bed, baby. So, hold on. Why don't you do your thing? No, go to bed. I got little people charging here. I know what.
Literally, they're not even just kids. They're just little people.
It's just tiny little gnomes
wandering
from like Charlie's Chocolate Factory. Hey,
2 weeks from now, we'll be talking about little people.
That's right, and we'll do it on cue. Oh man, how was your week?
Week was very busy. So we're doing the shows on Sundays now. Last week we had just moved. But spent all weekend getting moved in. And so we're finally settled, and it looks so nice in this place. We got rid of a bunch of crap that we didn't need. We just kept like we thought we might need or whatever. So we've donated all that to the local place, and we're down to like our bare bones. Like we're still filming this place, but it feels like home way more than the last place did. It's one story, so our son isn't able to like climb stairs, and we're constantly chasing him up and down the stairs. It's just overall, it's much better. We did lose our 100 megabytes per second download speed because, and you'll love this. So the company we were going with, we called them and said, hey, we're moving. Can you come see if you can put in a line? They said yes. They showed up. And they said, hey, we don't have any hookups at this new place because these buildings are literally, there's still some places being built. He's like, we don't have any hookups or anything yet. So you'll have to, go with a different company. So we called another company. They come out and they go, hey, you got a fiber line running through here. So if you wanted a gig of download speed, you could, you could have that. And we're like, nah, man, we'll just take, So, but it's super expensive. It's like $250 or something like that.
Oh, okay. It's not even fucking affordable.
No, yeah, not yet. I was like, I'm not a business owner.
I was about to say, like, oh my gosh, all I was thinking is like, gig up, gig down. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I was even surprised to hear that they had fiber running through here though, because a lot of places, I mean, I guess it's starting to ramp up a whole lot.
Yeah, people are starting to do it more just for expansion's sake. I mean, and it's gonna be great when Google Fiber starts expanding rapidly. Like, I mean. That's gonna be nasty. Google Fiber, it's on the way.
Now they got it coming through. So we have the technology. We just don't have the money. So
yeah, no. What you do is you get the army to pay for it because you're working from home.
Because I check. Well, we used to do this thing in Afghanistan where it's like the whole cop out was, well, I had to check my military emails in my room, and so the military made me do that. So you have to they had to I don't know, somebody finagled that, and then after a while, the army was like, hey, just wait till you get to work. We're not paying for your own personal time internet.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're settled in, and then I have a lot of training this month. I'll be gone a couple weeks at the end of this month, and then the first week of next month, go to Florida a couple times. I was supposed to go to Seattle. I was going to see Shane while I was up there, but then they changed it, so now we're going to Tampa for 2 weeks. And so I'll be down in Tampa, see some friends down there, I guess. I hadn't seen in a while.
So I guess I'll go to the beach.
Well, I don't even know if I have time to go to the beach. It's just the bummer is, but we'll see. We'll see.
If you can see friends, you have time to drive to the beach.
Yeah, but it'll be like, if anything, we'll just go to eat. Like the nightlife at St. Pete's pretty awesome. Like they have a lot of music going on outside. It's kind of like it's a beachy Nashville, if you will.
Yeah, but at least you're still on the beach.
That's true. It's very close.
I can't stress this enough. Like you can go to the beach. Even if it's for an hour, that's a lot better than no beach at all.
I'll probably go just to snap a picture just to say I was there, but actually didn't spend any time enjoying it.
He's like takes a bunch of pictures and then posts them over a couple hours. Like, the beach was great.
Little do you know that I was wearing a suit the entire time. I had no intention of getting into the water or near the sand. That's all for me, man. How was your week?
My week was super busy. So Lisa got in a wreck Tuesday. So she was coming off of one interstate onto another,
right?
And the guy in front of her stopped, and he stopped for no reason. I guess traffic backed up or whatever, and so she stopped, and it was a hurried thing, but she managed to stop. I guess the guy in front of her wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Well, the person behind her did not stop in time, so this big F-250 rams her and pushes her into this other truck, and so that guy. The first guy, so you got car 1, Lisa's car 2, right? Yeah. Car 1 speeds off. It's
oh, dude.
Deuces, and just bails, right? So Lisa was in the middle of moving to her new place too, so she had all of her stuff in her car, and then her animals too, which they were okay, thankfully. But she gets out and she checks on the people behind her, and they're freaking out, and the passenger in the truck behind her just got out of the hospital for open heart surgery, and then gets in a wreck. Oh my gosh, dude. So she calls me right after the wreck happened.
Gosh.
And I'm like talking to her. I'm like, okay, what happened? Are you okay? Are you physically okay? How's the car? Like, and she's like, yeah. And she's like, actually, like, it just happened. I'm not sure why I called you. My first instinct was to call you. And I was like, oh, well, that makes me feel good. But okay, like, figure everything out and call me back. And so, well, everybody was okay. The guy ended up coming back. He's like some kid. He's like in his, he's like 18, 20, whatever. So I guess he just freaks.
Just drove away. Like, it's not his fault at all, and he leaves.
Yeah, like, or like,
like
maybe he had like drugs he had to ditch first or something. Like, I don't know.
He parked exactly where he was hit, and then he's like rubbing his neck, like, oh.
He backs up into Lisa's car, like,
Hits it again.
we just needed to connect. No, so I left work early to go pick her and the animals up, and so yeah, that was busy. So now she doesn't have her car this week, but
Awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah, well, that sucks, but glad she's okay, of course.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Then she had bought me a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Great book.
Have you read it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it's solid. I'm just like, I'm into it, man. Like, every chance I get, I'm reading that book.
Book review? What up?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good, man. So if you haven't read that book, I will be making a review on that soon. Yesterday, to round out my week, Lisa and I took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, then the mall, and then to the company picnic. So, like, quite a busy day.
Company picnic, man. I missed that day.
Yeah, it was good, man. Like, we didn't have one last year.
Did you go to somebody's house, or did you?
We went
meet, like, at a
to
park or
old
something?
Kerry Couch's house,
Oh, yeah?
man. Yeah, man. He's got like tons of land and a huge house, and so it was
Yeah,
awesome.
he does.
He goes, yeah, he does.
I've been out there. Stayed out there when I was a kid. That's where I grew up, man. Me and Keith were besties, and so we were out there all the time.
Yeah, dude. So we did that. It was good. Good food, barbecue, so good. So yeah, man, it was a good weekend, but it's coming to a close.
Time to grind it out again. Get to the end.
Monday's tomorrow. Monday.
Can we please get a meme with Keith on it, just and always have something new, like Monday? What's the point?
I'm sure I could ask him. Like, hey man, can I take a picture of you and make a meme and
You mind
spread
if-
it over the internet?
You mind if I say offensive things, but use your face to?
I mean, I'll go to Facebook and just take his profile picture or something like that.
Yeah, don't even ask him. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares about his sensitivities? Oh man. All right, quote of the week. Let's do it.
Quote of the week. I got this actually from the Pathfinder book, and I read it a couple weeks ago, but I thought it was. I can't remember what year it said the Pathfinder was written in, but this I mean, even this far back, it makes sense probably for those soldiers. But the quote is, "It doesn't make a soldier worse to have an education. It makes it harder for him to take orders from idiots."
I feel like that applies today.
That will always apply. Gosh, that is so. It's so on point. I think I may even use it in my own, like I made it up at some point. But like, yeah, well, it doesn't make a soldier worse to have an education. It makes it harder for him to take orders from idiots.
And that's you just like spread that
straight wisdom
to your people, like below you, and then we're like, that Sergeant Davenport, he's real wise. And then like your fucking reporting officer's like, so what'd you say? No, you're not an idiot, boss. Like, so this doesn't apply to you.
I'm supposed to prove it.
Prove it. You can't. Oh man, that's awesome. I like that quote. The worst part is like how fucking solid it is. Like, and you can replace soldier with any profession. Who has a manager that's an idiot, and it's over. Like, that's too good. That's awesome.
Like,
so,
let's see. It doesn't make a third grader worse to have an education. It makes it harder to take orders from idiots. Or teenagers. Dude, that would work perfectly with teenagers. It fits so wonderfully. Sorry, teenagers, if you're listening, but it's true.
What does OSC stand for?
The what?
OSC?
Orson Scott Card.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. The author.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my quote this week, and I'm sorry for yarning, I'm beat.
I'm bored of the show.
Yeah. Oh, you guys tune in. You fucking awful. Awful.
I hate you all.
No. So my quote for the week is, our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in getting up every time we do, by Confucius. Like, if you never read any of his teachings or his quotes, shit, you can just go through and read his quotes. Like, there's a reason that everyone's like, Confucius said.
Confucius, hey, some wise junk.
Yeah, some wise ass shit. That quote's really good because it's so true. Like, you're gonna fail at everything you do. What's important is not how you fail or how often you fail. It's the fact that you get back up, because you won't succeed if you don't get back up. So I thought that was a very good, like, and it goes great for Rich Dad Poor Dad too.
It's a great point also, and people who are so afraid of taking chances, because like it says, and never falling. Like, I don't want to do it in case I might fail. It's like, yeah, but how do you expect to learn from that if you don't fail? If you don't get embarrassed? Public speaking is one thing I think of, or a lot of kids, young kids, and even adults say, well, I'm afraid to speak in front of people. Well, you're always going to be afraid if you don't try. Of course, you're not going to be perfect. How do you think those people who are, great at it now learn to do it? Because they got in front of a crowd every chance they got.
Yeah. I mean, and you pretend that they're in their underwear or naked or whatever your coping mechanism is. Yeah, or both. You're
in your underwear. Or I'm naked. Or wait, am I naked or are they naked?
What if they're a never nude from Arrested Development, so they have the blue jeans on, but they're still technically naked? I mean,
I guess whatever makes you...
Whatever makes you, you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That actually ties into our main topic really well. Whatever makes you, you, Devin. Whatever makes you, you. This is going to be such a good main topic.
The tag. That should be the actual title of this. Whatever makes you, you.
Okay, I'll change it.
No, I mean, you don't have to. That would be fun.
No, I mean, it's not. It's just press the fucking edit, man. Like, relax. Chill out. Chillax.
You shut up.
I pressed the wrong button. That's not good. I think I broke the entire blog. That being said, let's roll into the top fives.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? I went first last week. I want to be a gentleman, so you go ahead.
Oh, well.
And this was your idea, so I mean, this was yours, like your baby.
This is my baby. I had a baby in the form of a top five. So the top five this week is top 5 ways you know you're a gym rat, and this applies really well to both Devin and I, because we are. Hey, before I did it, what did I say I was going to change that to?
Which the title?
Yeah, the title. Son of a bitch.
What if I said, I don't remember. Already.
I would agree with you. So we're going to leave it to what it was.
Whatever makes you, you, I think, is what it is.
Oh, that's it. That's it. All right, hold on. That's great. Whatever makes you, you. Oh, that's great. What if I told you I didn't remember? So no. So the top 5, he and I both go to the gym. We're both doing beast mode. I'm doing a variant of beast mode because I'm not doing rock marches. I'm just doing cardio. Because I'm a little girl.
Which is cool. No, cardio is like you choose one, cardio or ruck marches. I do ruck marches because I got bad knees.
Yeah, that's true. That makes me feel a little bit better. But let's go into the top 5s. For me, number 5 is you eat food based on protein count. Fish. Like,
that's it.
Oh my god, fish is like the most protein centric per calorie or per ounce. It's so good. Number 4, you do push-ups on desks when talking to people. Like
that's your cue.
Seriously, like I'll be like talking to sales or talking to management or like one of my techs, and I'll just be like leaning on their desk doing push-ups and talking to them because I'm like, you fit it in wherever you can. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, like whatever you got to do.
It all counts.
Everything can be used for workout materials. Specifically monitor stands.
That's why you're like,
I was talking. No. We have these big monitor stands for 2 monitors, and so I was like doing curls with it when I was talking to Justin in his office the other day because I put a bunch in his office. Number 2, you're willing to eat the same thing all day for gains.
That's probably my favorite one of your list so far.
Oh my god, dude, I am, man. Like, I eat the same thing. I just made my batch today and eat the same thing all week. I'll have different dinners, but lunches and breakfasts, and most of my dinners will be this chicken and crap. It's gonna be...
Literally?
No. I mean, I guess the chicken's crap, but,
Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
is it the canned chicken stuff, or are
Yeah,
you
canned
grilling?
chicken, dude. Nah, canned chicken. I'm
Super
super
cheap.
lazy.
Yeah,
And it's
me
super
too.
cheap. It's easy. Look, I already eat the same thing every day. Like, I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into this. Okay.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at
Yeah.
you.
No, you're with me because you're the one who got me started on canned chicken.
Canned chicken is a way of life.
That's the chicken of the land.
It's like, wait, aren't chickens chicken? No, canned chicken is chicken of the land.
Canned chicken is the chicken of the land. And my number one is being sore is not a temporary state of being, but a lifestyle, dude. Oh my
Freaking
god.
amen. It's like
I'm
you
always
didn't do it
sore.
right if you're not sore.
Yeah,
It's
if
like,
you're not sore for the majority of the week, you're not a gym person. Honestly, you're
Or-
just not.
there's people who say, I never get sore, and I'm like,
Then you're not doing enough.
You're not doing it right.
What
or
are you
something.
doing? I go to a Planet Fitness and walk for 5 minutes a day. I feel real good. Like, then you're great.
Oh,
You're
I
doing
get
better
it.
than most people, but you're not a gym person at that point.
So I'll jump into mine, but now disclaimer. So I don't go to where I go to work has a gym there, and so which is great because I don't have to pay right now a membership. So when we move, I'll probably have to find a gym if there's not a gym there. But I'm in there every day, in there every day. And so I just was like, well, what could I use? Like back in the day, I used to work out so much more back in the day than I do now. Now it's just
hard to
try
find
to
time,
keep
too,
up.
man.
Yeah.
Maintain.
So top 5 ways you're a gym rat. Number 5, you're giddy when new equipment arrives. Like you're just like, dude, is that a new bench
What's
press?
that?
It
Oh,
doesn't
is
have-
that a
it doesn't
roller
have-
machine?
Doesn't
Yeah,
have tape
dude.
on it like the other one did. It's not like you have to use like this hammer to like get the thing out of the thing so the thing doesn't bend or whatever. So it's just nothing crazy. 4, you've carved "I heart you" on the bathroom stall door.
Wait, hold on. You've done that?
No, see, these aren't necessarily things. I'm just like, these are people like that I know that are so
okay,
over the top about some stuff.
Gotcha. I was about to say, like, you just faced the bathroom?
I heart you, and they're like,
Jesus.
who is the you? And they're like, oh, they're talking about the gym. They
The
love
gym.
this
These
build.
weird ass.
I
That's
heart
great.
you. You do push-ups every time any football team scores a touchdown. Those people do like, oh, they got 7 points, so they do seven push-ups, like football
Yeah.
season.
That's awesome. I should do that. Anytime I'm watching a sporting event.
Watch the Tigers.
Alright,
You won't have to
I'm,
do many.
I'm watching hockey. That's going to be rough. Well, they scored. 1.
Or soccer. I did.
Go! I'll do a slow one,
Every time they
Bit of
scored, I did
resistance.
a push-up.
Nice.
Bada boom, bada boom. Let's see. Number 2, you get in trouble for acting as a trainer to other people.
Yeah. It's
come
funny
in.
that gyms have those rules.
Well, I
'cause
see
they have their
those
own
guys
personal
who.
trainers.
I mean, I guess you should. If someone's going to hurt themselves, you should be like, hey. But I always feel like no matter what scenario you're in, like those people, maybe if they're doing a weird workout, they have a purpose for it.
Yep.
But then you're like the guy walked over and was like, hey, if you do this instead, and they're like, you shut up and let me hurt myself if that's what's going to happen. I'll just
No,
do
I
that.
actually like the because I was doing a workout. Oh man, several years ago, and I was being really hard on my knees, and I didn't notice. Like, I was like, well, I don't even feel it. He goes, no, yeah, you won't. Like, but in like a year, you're really gonna feel your knees. So make this adjustment. And I was like, oh, sweet. But that's not most scenarios. And that being said, yeah, you're right. Like, what if someone's like adjusting it because of an injury? Like, if you ever see me do certain things like wrist workouts, I always do adjustments because my wrists are really bad when it comes to heavy weight. So
Yeah,
I'm
me with my
definitely doing
knees,
weird
same
stuff.
thing.
Exactly.
And number 1, management has to remind you not to leave your sleeping bag again. 'Cause you're there all the time, so you just stay there. Why even leave?
I'm telling you, if you're ever homeless, 24-hour gym membership is one of the first things you need. That's the
And
best money you'll spend.
And you make enough in that one day to cover the month when you're
You
asking.
do. Yeah. No kidding.
I usually leave like $5. So you're already like 10% of the way there for an expensive membership.
Yeah. For the why.
They've got showers. I mean, like
A napping
Everything.
room. Like, come on, man.
you could. They have shaving cream and dispensers there.
Yeah. And so now you can work out. You have a good place to shower and clean. Now you just need to find a place to sleep. Boom. And you'll be working out. You just need food now.
You'll be the most in shape homeless guy out there, and I respect that.
Do you respect that he's homeless or in shape or both?
You decide.
You're such an idiot. All right, so you want to lead into this main topic since it's your own. It's very personal for you. This gender confusion.
Oh, I hate you. So I don't know how. I hate you so much, and we're making light of it right now. Yeah, well,
I'll be making light of it the entire time. So
good. Okay, great. Because, well, guys, this is the kind of podcast you get into. Don't expect like to have a clear-cut answer at the end. Like, we probably will not get anywhere that I think or hope that we might get. I was telling Dakota today, I was like, on most topics, when like DeWayne and I purposely keep our sides of it, like the information we have is like weapons that we'll use later on, but we never like actually get to where I think we're gonna go, and maybe not even where you think we're gonna go.
Yeah, it's
like last week, we were talking about the budget, and I was like, I had zero intention of talking about the budget. Like my head was not at all.
Wait. So you went, let's do a topic on church finances, but we probably won't talk about their budget.
No, I was thinking like how much pastors make. Like that's where I was going. Now I guess, of course, a budget would obviously be included because it reflects the pastor's pay or how much employees make. But for us that to be like the main thing, I was like, I had like those 2 pages. I was like, throw these away.
Throw this shit out. He's got solid points in research.
So we are this week talking about the topic of transgender, and I did not know this was even something. I guess because I've been off social media, we don't have TV, like so I don't see all the commercials in the news. But the whole bathroom thing, because I think you had asked me like, are we talking about the bathroom thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, because to me that's even like really beyond like the whole trend, like being transgender. To me, like that would be the main point because the subtopic is just the bathroom thing. You know, it's not anything to me gigantic. So the root of it, transgender, was like, well, let's talk about it. Dude, I've had so much like study put into this week, and I guess even my eyes opened a little bit just from just reading and all these other things. Don't you say, oh, you son of a biscuit. Are you being an a-hole right now?
No, I'm listening. I'm just saying, like you put in all this work.
I did, and so, and then I've talked to some of my students who are probably I'm almost certain listening right now who have had even opposite opinions from what I've had, and so I know it's been really interesting to talk about it. And just for disclaimer, if anyone's listening for the first time, I'm going to take a side, and I think just like anyone else, we should have a side. You should be able to defend the side as well. Know why you have that stance. We've talked about being Christian atheists. You should be able to defend the stance you have. But that doesn't mean that I don't think people are people at the end of the day. So we're going to get on this, and I told my students, like, I'm going to come off as being someone who's very icy about it and very, I'm going to seem judgmental. But if we get to this point, I care a lot about a certain aspect, and so maybe we'll get into that a little bit.
I also want to add that I will be on a side that I don't necessarily 100% fully believe, but it makes for a better show if we have both sides represented.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. I texted DeWayne and I said, "Hey, should we talk about this?" And he goes, "Well, what side are you on?" And I told him my side, and he goes, "Well, whatever side you pick, I'm just gonna be on the opposite because there won't be a show for just like, yeah, I agree," and we're just like
transgender stuff. All right, here's how we think. Great show.
All right, see you guys next week. 15-minute show.
Right, or a 15-minute topic. So, this article that Devan linked is about. I just don't want to go through I've already set up all my other cool stuff. So basically, this guy, and I'm being vague because I've got the cue card set up. He goes around to college kids and he like talks to them about being like saying like, 'cause the whole thing is like this whole identifying who you are. Like if you want to identify as the opposite gender, even if you like technically don't have the genitals for it or whatever. And so this guy like basically goes around and trolls some college kids. And I want to play a little bit of that real quick, just so everybody gets so I'm going to pull up the video here and get everything going. Because, like, some of the shit these kids say, like, it's just...
It is ridiculous.
If I told you that I was a woman, what would your response be?
Good for you. Okay, like, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I'll be like, what? Really?
I don't have a problem with it.
Is that coming through
I'd
your
ask
ears?
you how you came to that conclusion.
If I told you that I was Chinese,
it's
what
not
would your
coming
response be?
There you go.
I mean, I might be a little surprised, but I would say, good for you. Like, yeah, be who you are.
I would maybe think you had some Chinese ancestor.
I would ask you how you similarly came to that conclusion and why you came to that conclusion.
I would have a lot of questions.
So this is already
just
kind of
because
like,
on
they're
the
very
outside,
like
I would
PC
assume
and very
that you're a
passive
white
and
man.
everything. There's
If I
some
told
sort
you
of-
that I was
If you truly believed you're 6'5", I don't think it's harmful. I think it's fine if you believe that. It doesn't matter to me if you think you're taller than you are.
so you'd be willing to tell me I'm wrong?
I wouldn't tell you you're wrong.
No, but I say that I don't think that you are.
I feel like that's not my place as like another human to say someone is wrong or to draw lines or boundaries.
No.
Okay, so that's like the perfect one to stop on. And I'm going to put this link in the show notes for sure. And I'm actually going to spit it out to the YouTube chat here in just a second.
Awesome.
Do you want to start? I think you should start since I'm going to be on the defending side of these college kids.
Okay. I'm hearing myself. Is that okay?
No, hold on. That's because I pressed the wrong button. There we go. That's fixed now.
Test. Boom. All right. Perfect. So I saw this video, and that was sort of the thing that got me, well, should we talk about it? Should this be the topic? And with anything, I'm trying to study both sides. That's what I've been doing. And I've studied all week, looking at everything. And I talk to people who certainly have other opinions, even people I go to church with who have differing opinions. But again, the opinions, that's okay. You should have. So anyways, the topic of transgender. And so this is something, like I said, I want to start off by saying that I'm a Christian and I'm supposed to love everyone. And I do. Generally, I do. I'm never going to make someone feel uncomfortable in public. If I run into a transgender person just in public, of course I'm not going to like point at them and say, that's weird, you're going to hell. I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not a guy who just says mean things to say mean things, but I'm also a guy who has what I believe to be an informed opinion, biblically and now, as this thing scientifically. I'm a proponent of they will know you by the way that you love someone. That's what the Bible says. And so I understand that people use that particular instance of Jesus and the woman at the well. I don't know if you're familiar with this story, DeWayne.
Of course not.
But people incite this story a lot. So there was a woman who was caught in the act of adultery. And so Pharisees bring her to Jesus, and it's kind of like a way to entrap him because they're basically saying, the law says that you're supposed to kill this woman. But then, the whole forgiveness thing, and that's where he says the famous line, let he without sin cast the first stone. That's where that happens. And so the whole thing is they're like, well, Jesus, he was friends with sinners and blah, blah, blah. Well, this woman, he said, go and sin no more. He recognized her sin, and then he said, he didn't just stop there. He didn't just say, go, have a good day. He said, go and sin no more. So to me, there's a love, and not just to me, there's a love and a truth aspect to that conversation that he has with that woman. He recognizes her sin and says, hey, you have this sin in your life, but go and don't do it again. So there's truth and there's love. And I feel like there's a lot of people now, especially in this video, which is, to me, it's the first thing I thought of, that we're a society that has decided that love is extreme, like the most important thing. Even churches are having this, this whole shift in saying love is the most important thing. And I absolutely agree. But you can't forget about the truth aspect. Now, we'll get into a little more of that. It's like, well, you tell the truth all the time. And should you be straight up front about the truth? And of course, you already know my stance, and we have this understanding that you have to have a relationship before you can ever say anything of any kind of meaning or something like that about someone's lifestyle that might involve truth. But you would have to have the love aspect of it too. And so I think I would start off by saying I don't see how transgender works to start off, and people are going to immediately hate me, and maybe we'll get emails about it. But I don't understand how it works biblically, or even scientifically, based off of some of the testaments of psychiatrists and scientists that I've read, and I have some quotes and stuff that they have said.
Okay, so let me start with, I can't handle transgender biblically because, I'm not gonna search the Bible for transgender episodes or excerpts. But as far as what my understanding of transgender is, like you, Devin, are physically a man, but you feel like you're a woman. Like that's just what you would be more comfortable as. Like you would prefer to like dress up like a woman, and eventually it becomes so overpowering of a feel or of an emotion, like you just want to like physically be a woman, so you want to make that change.
Right.
And so like that, I mean, I don't like understand that from my own point of view, obviously, but I can totally get how like that could happen to somebody. Like there's so many types of different, like, you know, the mind is so powerful. So if you already feel like you're a woman, like, I mean, I don't think that's something you can like talk somebody out of, really. So I think that's how that works. But as far as like what the Bible says about it or anything like that, I can't say. But I think it's part of what you wanted to talk about this, the PC-ness of these kids, and you're against that, or
I think it's, well, maybe originally it was that, you know, maybe it's the ignorant Christian to me that was like, hey, of course it's not right, like it's not natural, it doesn't seem natural, as far as I know natural to be. And then as I got to studying, it was more, I guess, the value of their lives and transgender, the issue of these people, it being a psychological issue for them, like a disorder in a way.
Careful, man. I feel like you calling it a disorder cheapens it.
Well, that's not me. I'm not calling it this because I decided it was a disorder. These are the things that I'm reading. These renowned psychiatrists and people who say, and we can get into why they say that, and then we'll get into the real reason why I'm like, man, this is why I think maybe we shouldn't be standing up for it, as opposed to seeking out these individuals one-on-one and saying, hey, are you sure that like this is why you feel this way?
Okay, well, let's take me on this journey. Let's go down what you got planned. I'm excited.
So at first, of course, I was out to just, and I think anybody in this, if you don't agree with something, you're just like, how can I prove it wrong? Like, and I'll admit in my head, I was like, how can I just like make this thing is wrong? And I didn't want to be that way, and I never want to be that way, because I always want to be someone who listens to both sides. And it's easy enough for me to say this, I think, and you may be because I don't have anyone in my own life that associates with transgender. I don't know if you know anyone in that case.
I know people that are probably closer to the mark. I don't actually know anybody who would prefer to be the opposite gender, but I definitely know people who like are in those type of communities, and they know people like that. So I'm probably like a hair's breadth closer than you.
Probably, yes. Well, and then that's one of the interesting things. I was talking to my students, and she says, well, I have a friend, and she's listening, so I may get this wrong, but she has a friend, I believe, who's a male and associates his gender, and we're saying apparently sex and gender are two different definitions when considered transgender. So, but was born a male by sex and thinks he's a female by gender. And so that's why I'm like, okay, well, that's, you know, I've never had that, so I'm not considering this from a personal aspect. Like, I don't have any personal investment in this, and so that's why I think I'm coming off a little colder on it. And so I just wanted to ask other people, you know, well, so anyways, but I was reading about this psychiatrist. I don't have, but it's from lifesitenews.com. The psychiatry expert says, scientifically, there's no such thing as transgender. Oh, this is Dr. Joseph Berger, who says there's no such thing as a transgendered person, and that term such as gender expression and gender identity used in the bill. I guess there was a bill they were talking about to give transgenders rights. That those terms used in the bill are at the very least ambiguous and are more an emotional appeal than a statement of fact. And then that's where I went into that video where he was saying, I'm a 6'5" Asian woman. What would you say about that? And they're just like, yeah, whatever you want. And that's where I was like, well, how, even take away the Bible aspect, these people who are in colleges who are challenging, you know, their faith or lack thereof all the time, still can't say, well, no, you're definitely not 6'5", because we know what a measurement of 6'5" is.
Yeah, I think that's the only one. So, like, all right, so The Asian thing, one of the people, if you watch the video, the Asian thing they handle, because they're like, well, you can have Asian in your bloodline, and so you're technically Asian, and you just prefer to identify that. I could do that with Scottish or Irish, because I like that's primarily what I'm made up of. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it's not like I actually grew up in that heritage, right? Like, so I would be adopting that. To identify as a woman, like, that's very easy, like, especially day to day, like, all you gotta do is, like, be a woman, you know, you just physically don't have the tackle for it. But the 6.5 thing, like, that one was, I was like, oh, you can literally whip out a fucking measuring stick and be like, no, you're not 6'5". Now, if you want to be 6'5", you can make adjustments for that. You could wear high heels. You could walk on stilts. Then you would technically be 6'5", because you would be, portraying yourself as 6'5".
Right.
So I didn't like how PC they went there, because that's actual fact. The other thing is more like emotional and opinion based. And you talked about the bill, where it was like, oh, the bill's ambiguous. If you look at the law is ambiguous, and it's always open to interpretation. That's why we have judges and lawyers in Supreme Courts. But, I mean, yeah, I don't like the whole 6'5" thing. But I get the other side that they're coming from, to respecting somebody's choice. And I think
absolutely.
You have to respect that. It's in your line of business. Well, not anymore, but...
Well, even as a Christian, it should be. But then, and this is where I will probably for the rest of my life always have that, if it's our job to introduce someone to God or Jesus who does not know him, someone who would be willing to accept that, it's like, do we, when is the love and truth? Because you got to have them both, So I'm always going to have that turmoil, and anybody who's Christian and thinks that same way is always going to have that sort of tension in their life, I think. So one of the other things that I thought about was when I said natural, and I said, okay, well, natural, what does that mean? And I would think, so natural mean how you're born. And I said, okay, well, is there ever any instance where someone is not born with, straight up male and female parts? And there is.
Yep.
There's a few.
It's a hermaphrodite, right?
Yes, but it's a specific syndrome, and I have all the different ones here. So there are some different. So males are born with X and Y as the last set of chromosomes in their DNA structure. If you have X and Y, you're a male. If you have X and X, then you are a female, and that's how it happens. Males have penises, females have vaginas, and that's how you're born. But there's some exceptions. So there's some times where there's one called the Klinefelter syndrome, where you're born with two X's and a Y. And this said that sometimes it may go unnoticed, and it may become more apparent in these individuals, and it's males because they have the Y. They're going to have weaker muscles, greater height, poor coordination, less body hair, smaller genitals, breast growth, less interest in sex. And so, but oftentimes it says that they're going to have reading difficulties and even some difficulties with speech, and typically requires some sort of treatment, whether it's speech therapy or something like that. But the interesting point is that these individuals who are born with two X's and a Y are often sterile, which means they can't continue this lineage. Like, it won't let it happen, because that's like a negative thing. If we're talking about, hey, adapt and survive, this would not be good for the human race if it was to allow to keep going. Then there's the XYY syndrome. This one's not really so bad. I would actually I'd love to have had this one. This just means like earlier growth spurt. You have acne early on, but you're still a male. You just grow a little faster, like your growth
you're just
spurt.
you're like male times 2, essentially.
You're a basketball player.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Or freaking.
Turns out everybody who plays pro anything athletics is just XYY. Yep.
Then there's one called the Turner syndrome. This is where you're born with only the one female X chromosome. Your other one is missing. And if you know anything about science, if you're missing any of your 46, it's not good, like even one. And so your X0 is what it's called. One chromosome, female chromosome, typically presents with a short webbed neck, low set ears, low hairline, short stature, swollen hands, and feet at birth. And these individuals don't have menstrual periods. They don't develop breasts, are unable to have children. Again, this is something that does not allow to go on. And then the last one is, which was interesting, was the XY females. These are actually women who are born with male genitalia. So they are like the ideal, if they are transgender, it's like the ideal setup for them. It's like, I was born a woman, but I feel like I'm a man. But they can go through hormone replacement to be able to get, if they wanted to be a woman based on the XY chromosome, they could get that removed. They could actually be induced to have periods, but they cannot have kids. They can't reproduce on their own. They can hold an egg that someone else has fertilized, but they can't reproduce on their own. So then I finish up with this part. Dr. Berg says, from a scientific perspective, let me clarify what transgendered actually means. I'm speaking now about the scientific perspective and not any political lobby position that may be proposed by any group, medical or non-medical. Sometimes some of these people have claimed that they are a woman trapped in a man's body, or alternatively, a man trapped in a woman's body. The medical treatment of delusion, psychosis, or emotional happiness is not surgery. So he's saying that this is a disorder,
right,
to him. And so I don't know if you have anything to say on that. I'm just kind of trying to walk down this.
So like all that's good science information. I don't know, man. I don't know that I want to call it a disorder because I don't know. It's a slippery slope on whether that you consider that a disorder. You especially, and for me, like I don't think religious people to say that's a disorder, I'd lay into them. Because typically it doesn't hurt anybody. They're not hurting anybody to believe that or feel that way. You made a point about like, oh, that hurts the human race. No, it doesn't. It's such an edge case, man. Like you're talking about like a small population in the grand scheme of the world to be like want to be the opposite gender and not be able to reproduce.
It's like 0.05%.
Right, but like everybody freaked out when like gay marriage or gay people started doing their thing. It's like, well, what about repopulation? We're overpopulated. So can we worry about this problem in 30 years when we're back to normal on population? The world is overpopulated and on track to be overpopulated even worse. So I think that's a moot point for sure.
Burris says, for a long time, homosexuality was classified as a mental disorder, and I remember that actually, people talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, and plus you have like scared straight camps and stuff like that. I think it's something to accept, honestly. Like I don't think it's a disorder. It's not like they're harming anybody. It's not like it's depression or being a sociopath or anything like that. Like bipolar disorder, anything. It has not been classified a mental disorder, to my knowledge, yet, by an actual board of smart people.
Well, and so as I'm reading, and I sort of getting in, trying to walk there, because like before, man, like I said, I was going to be cold about it, and so I agree. Burris says, I feel like a lot of these bathroom laws are BS anyway, and I'm like, same thing, man. How often? I'm a Christian, but I'm like, how? Well, okay, I see both sides. I've seen some things where the guys claim, news stories where the guys claim transgender law, and there's a guy recently who was taking pictures under the stalls of women, and he was allowed in there because he was claiming transgender.
Okay, well, here's the other thing, like...
And so that's, I mean, these peeping toms and these, like, the child, like, all of those creepy dudes, this is a heyday for them, man. It's an excuse, which, again, you can't say no to some people because of the people who will do bad things, right?
Well, yeah, right, and that's the thing, like, if like this, I can roll this around to gun control, like, they're still gonna do bad things, like, even if you have a law, like, for or against, like, it's still gonna happen, like,
yes,
this is for the people who need it, not for the people who are gonna do bad things. Those people are gonna do bad things regardless, so, the whole bathroom thing is, like, garbage.
Well, then I guess you would say, and I don't know if there is any way to have, like, physical evidence, like, what would you say, like, okay, this marks you as transgender? Like, is there something you would need to, like, have a card on you or have, because I think the biggest issue people are going to have with that is the bathroom thing, not simply because, like, I could care less if a transgender, woman comes into a male's bathroom. First of all, we have stalls. They're not going to be able to use them, so they're just going to go use the stall anyways. To flip that, they're going to have to use a stall because women don't have the urinals. So everyone's going to have to use a stall who wants to use the other bathroom anyway. But then you think about
very simple thing. The bathroom issue, the bullshit bathroom issue.
Get in and out.
Unisex bathrooms. And then immediately everybody goes, well, what about the children? What about the fucking children? look, man, if somebody's gonna like attack or prey on a child, they're gonna fucking do it. Like they're gonna do it regardless. Like this doesn't provide that much more of an avenue to do this. And if you want to go ahead and just be like, what's gonna happen in the bathroom? Like there's fucking stalls, man. Like
and make it a one-person bathroom with a lock. Like don't.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have to. But I guess yeah. I mean, it's
do that. And dude, Devan, have you ever used a woman's bathroom?
Yes, I have.
I absolutely have too. That one's full. I'm going in this one. Like I'm gonna lock that door because that happens.
Yep.
And dude, and I've definitely had like, man, at sporting events. How many times have you seen? I've seen this over and over again, where like a pregnant lady will walk by and they're like, "Oh, I gotta pee," and all the guys are like, "Go, go, go!" Like, yep. Absolutely, because like it's not that big of a fucking deal. It's really not.
And so the next portion I got into after I've been reading all this stuff and thinking about it, and they're saying again that it's a disorder, and here's one of the reasons why.
Burris agrees with me.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Burris is exact trash.
Oh,
I love you, Burris.
That's what happens when you chat with a show.
We
talks to you.
Dude, now we have this relationship going back to Afghanistan, so we know. So suicide among transgenders. This was like eye-opening. It says studies repeatedly show that transgender people who seek to become the opposite sex are in fact not happy or fulfilled. In fact, life or death internal war is continually going on within, to the degree that many, if not most, seek to end their lives. And this study was the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and the Williams Institute found when the foundation analyzed results from the National Transgender Discrimination Survey. The numbers of suicide attempts are heartbreaking. Over 41% of active transgender people try to kill themselves. That's 10 times the average 4.6% suicide attempt rate. And so it says the study isn't the only one proving that those who seek to live as if they were the opposite sex are in fact killing themselves. Over a dozen other surveys worldwide have found the same alarming high suicide rates. A national survey of more than 6,500 transgender people asked the question, have you tried to commit suicide? 41% answered yes. Chronically high stress levels, anxiety, and depression are most commonly reported among active transgender people. Self-harm by cutting is often reported as well. It says the suicide hotline for them, Trans Lifeline, handled more than 20,000 calls in its first 9 months of operation alone. Greta Gustava Martella, who is a lesbian, founded the hotline, summarized it with saying, with 41% attempted suicide, you have to assume something's just not working for transgender folks. Mainstream media attributes the exploding transgender suicide rate to outside influences such as peer and parental rejection, but does not consider the transgender person's tragic internal battle as intrinsic to living a psychological dichotomy. And so, to me, like thinking of, like I thought about the suicide rate. You know, how many people committed suicide overseas when we were in Afghanistan, and one is too many. You know, one is too many.
Right.
And then I hear these people who are having this conflict within themselves. Let's say they're not even it's not a disorder. Let's just say, you know, regular people who are like having this issue, and that's what broke my heart. Like this is the point where I'm like, well, is it a disorder? Because if it is a disorder, then we're standing on the sideline saying, be proud of who you are, while inside they're suffering. And even though they're, you know, there's people around them who pretend, you know, or are supportive of this new lifestyle, inside they're still hurting. And so it's like, do we say you're brave, or do we say maybe you should talk to someone, get professional help, and see if this really is what's going on? Because 41% is a high number, my man, for any race people.
It is. And so let me equate this to, and I've been waiting towards the more core of the topic to bring this out. So at 41%, that's a ridiculously high number, and I want to preface and say that, like, we are not experts. We are not, like, by any means, like, professionals to be able to help you in any way, shape, or form. If you're having thoughts of suicide, you should absolutely call the suicide hotline number. And if you're having thoughts, there's obviously a transgender suicide hotline that I'm sure a quick Google search will bring you to. I will try and put those both in the show notes, because I've lost a friend to suicide, and it's not fun. It's not even okay. Devan says it very plainly. One is too many. That being said, I think it's best to say you be you, right? Like if you want to be, if you're a man and you want to be a woman, or if you're a woman and you want to be a man, like how can I help you, right? Like on when it comes to like the financial thing, like I don't think we should be like handing people money to get this done.
Right, that's expensive.
Right, it's expensive. But like if they want to do that, like I think we should support them however we can emotionally. I think the same thing for like gay marriage and women's rights and race equality and all of these things, because like I don't think wanting to be the opposite gender is a mental disorder. And roll all that around and say, if you do think of that, we have people who believe in invisible people, like and like that's like their fucking thing, and we don't even look at that as a disorder. Like not to bash on you and bring us back. I knew
you were gonna say Christian, this. I told Dakota that. I was like, yeah, he's gonna bring that up.
Seriously, if you look at transgenderism, and I don't even know if that's the correct word, but if you look at the identifying as a transgender as a fucking mental disorder, and you don't have self awareness to go, actually, I believe in a whole fucking system of things that's proven off of like nothing. Like I talk to nothing, right? Like, so it's very easy for anybody else to go, you actually might have a mental disorder. And you like realistically, and to be crude, to get the point across quickly, essentially, Devin, you have an imaginary friend in the sky that you live by, right? And you're gonna look at somebody who goes, I think I'd be better as a woman. And
well,
to even consider that as a mental disorder puts it on the same of going, well, if you're gay, you're probably crazy, or you probably have a mental disorder because you want to lie with a man as well instead of a female, like you're supposed to. I think that's like far-fetched at best, and like very much like pot calling kettle black. Like you might want to look at your own side of the table.
I can tell you why. We've talked about before, and in our Let's Be Honest video, where you said like, I can't prove that God exists by scientific standards, but you also can't disprove that He exists. We both are wondering, and the only thing that separates us is my faith in that. And then we have this book that also has the historical
account, for better words.
Yeah, but it lines up with a lot of things that happen and that have happened in actual secular history, archaeological digs, that kind of thing. And so we base it on the things that we know we've seen, and there's a reason why like this Christianity hasn't died out. It's split from Judaism, blah blah blah. And so I guess the point, what I would say is, we have a lot more things. I mean, okay, and then I could flip it on you and say, well, they feel like they're this other gender. So we're supposed to say, okay, well, that's great. That's true. You should be able to identify with that. But then if we as Christians say, I feel like there's this other God, but then people are like, God, no, he's God's a bigot. I ain't gonna believe in that. But here's the difference: is we have this Bible, we have a lot of this other history, these other evidences that go along with the Bible. And one of the things that they were talking about was, so someone who is transgender is having hallucinations. The definition of hallucination is they're saying something.
Hold on. I know what the definition of a hallucination is.
Well, I'm pretending that everyone's listening.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So hallucinations is like seeing something that isn't actually there, or because someone else can see the reality of something that is there. Like if you're out in the desert, people have hallucinations from being dehydrated. So someone who's with you, you say, "Oh, I see a house, or I see a fountain," and then they're like, "No, there's no fountain there. Like you're just dehydrated." And so these people are saying, "I'm a man," but they don't have any of the, like, we can see right then and there, well, you're not a man, like you're a woman. So how do what am I supposed to do? Like this is science. Science says that you're a woman. How am I supposed to deal with that? Like, and like I said, again, is it natural? And I had this talk with some of my students, and I said, well, I'm thinking about the point. It's like, if someone says they're gay, well, then that, all right, well, I still love them, but that's not the sin. Like saying like I'm gay, that's not the sin. The sin to Christians is when someone has sex with someone of the same sex, so a woman with a woman or a man with a man, to us that's the sin. You could say, I'm gay all you want, but you haven't committed a sin until you followed through. And so I'd almost be like, well, just because someone says they're a woman, that doesn't mean they're a sin. You know, like where do you go with that? Is it a natural? It seems like it. And to me, it would seem like it, biblically, scientifically, but is there anything wrong with it? I don't know that I could say that there is, in all honesty.
So,
and I don't want to give my final line to the very end. I think it'll sum up my point very well. And
well, we're running low on time, but let me do this. I did a Google, and this is actually news to me. Transgender is, unfortunately, technically a mental illness, and it's recognized by DSM, which stands for something important. DSM psychology. Let me Google that really quick. Stands for I don't know. I'm Googling that. It's a waste of my time. It's a recognized mental disorder, and it's called gender dysphoria, which is the definition of the condition of feeling one's emotional and psychological identity as male or female to be the opposite of one's biological sex. So if it's recognized as mental illness, that sucks, but it wouldn't be the first time that we've made adherences for people with mental illnesses. Especially if you want to consider this a mental illness or actually support that it is a mental illness. As far as things go, it's not that bad of a break. Also, I don't believe, and I could be wrong, I just found out it was actually a disease, that they hallucinate as a part of it. Like in the traditional sense, for sure. Mm-hmm. But that just makes them sound worse than it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just not for persecuting transgender, but I also think, gay people should be able to live their life the way they want, and everybody should be able to live the life they want as long as they're not affecting people in a negative way. So I guess, man, I wasn't expecting the talk to go this way. I really was expecting it to be more like talking about like how PC these college kids were, so I was a little off.
See, told you we never go the same place. Yeah, we never think.
We never go on the path we were expecting. That being said, like, it's interesting for me. I guess my final thoughts are, if you're transgender, I have zero problems with that. And it's like medically easier to swap genders these days to help with your gender dysphoria. So if that helps you, I'm all for that. In the same way that if people have depression and having a service dog helps them be more calm, be less depressed everywhere they go, I'm for that too. So just be you and don't hurt anybody around you, and certainly don't hurt yourself. So what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts are, and this is one of the thoughts I had from one of my students, was at the end of the day, I'm not the judge of you. I'm not the judge of whether you go to heaven or hell. It is my job to just love you. So I will do that to the best of my ability. If I make a face, it's because I don't understand the lifestyle, I guess. Now, and also understand that I'm not someone who's going to condone it, but I'm also not going to tell you how bad of a person you are, because I don't know your situation. And if it is a disorder, then I certainly don't understand. But I'm not the judge. God's the judge. But I will give you love, and I will give you truth, and I will give you both at an appropriate time, and all the time, hopefully, if I'm doing right by you as an individual. And so just know that I'm a very loving person, but I feel like you should not be afraid to take your stance somewhere. I feel like you should, like from a biblical standpoint, I shouldn't be afraid to say, here's my opinion based on this. Just like you shouldn't be afraid if you're transgender or someone who's gay to say, I'm gay and here's, just because I want to be. Well, great. But have your own opinion, be able to defend it, and just don't be mad when someone else has a differing opinion.
Yeah, I think that's good. Good leave off, and I will add this. Burras looked up Burras. Am I saying that wrong?
Burras. I used to say it like this though all the time, and he hated it. Burras. He hates it. So sorry, Burras. I just gave away the whole deployment.
So he says in the chat, DSM stands for Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder. So I mean, it's actually in the book of disorders. That being said, that's the show for the night. You can always find all of our social media on thepastoranatheistshow.com. Mine is URIT Hero on all of them. Follow me on Snapchat specifically. Devin, you got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to?
I love you, and I mean it.
Good night, everybody.